Team PCD here with a Photon Hypernova sneak peek deck list. Barry here got first place. What deck did you play?
I played pure Spright.
Awesome. Let's get into it.
All right, man. Yeah. So I'm gonna start off with the hand traps. I got them in order, just how I used them. So
Okay.
you can start with 2 Magnum Mutt, 1 Druid Worm, 2 Skullmeister. I didn't want to. My bestial package was bigger, of course, you know, but we were trying to test some stuff out for post Photon Hypernova format. Wanted to condense the number of bestials because, you know, they literally do nothing against cash tier, and I don't want to open up a handful of bestials expecting to play tier and auto lose game 1. So my hand trap pack, I'm still messing with the ratios, messing with the cards, but today obviously it did pretty good. But I still wanted to have some presence for tier in the deck, so I still wanted to keep a few bestials in the deck. And also I like using Skullmeister because normally when I play against tier, when I do come up against them, usually the only thing that beats me isn't really tier itself, it's more so me not having anything to respond to the mills of the Ishizu cards. So I wanted something that on its own that could stop the Ishizu cards, and it can still stop a tier fusion, and it can still stop the spells and the trap, trick, and engrave.
Okay, so just stop everything.
Yeah, so that's why I like the Skullmaster, kind of like a little Swiss Army knife against tier, depending on, you know, how they chain their stuff. So that. Next, again, we're trying out different hand trap ratios for the new format. So I wanted to go with a lot more generic stuff. So just go back to 3 Ash, 3 Ghost Mourner. Of course, Ash, you know, not good on their own, but none of these hand trap, I believe, can stop a deck, you know, especially with the powered level right now by themselves in the game. But I wanted something that in 2s can work. And plus, I like Ghost Mourner because you can play it on your turn and on your opponent's turn while you're comboing it, because every deck can pretty much summon monsters on your turn mid-combo and do things like this. So Ghost Mourner really helps up. And you know, the burn effect does come up in time, sometimes comes in time, but even if it doesn't come up in time, it can always help you OTK your opponent.
So you like that over Valor?
Yeah. I mean, because I still think bestials are going to be around. So I mean, you know, just trying. But the thing I don't like about Vader that you can't play it on your turn. So okay. I wanted all my hand traps to be stuff that I could play on both players' turn at any time during either player's turn. So that's why I love Mourner. I've been playing Mourner since the start of last format. Like, it's insane. Down to the boring stuff, the generic stuff. I'm not gonna go into this much. So you got the 3 blue, 3 jet, 1 red, 1 carrot. No pixies. Never really been a big fan of pixies. I've tried it a couple of times, but never really in the tournament. Maybe I'll try it out, who knows, but no pixies today. Then Toad package, got the 3 swap. And the thing that's a little different, I started to play the dupe. I like the dupe because another thing, just in a lot of testing, I feel like one of the only ways that most, like to me, Spright already has like almost I guess as close as you can get guaranteed in this game. It has like almost like 9 out of 10 chance of always winning if you go first and you go full combo. But the only way that people can normally even play through a Spright board, they have to rush the battle phase and attack over the biggest threat, and they just play through everything else main phase 2. So I wanted to do the dupe to keep them from having that as an out. So even though it's just a battle trick, it really is still counts kind of as a disruption because it protects one of your other disruptions, because they can't just rush, you know, get a bestial, chain a bestial to your gigantic, get a bestial on field, and then just auto crash over your Toad or something like that. So it protects your board, and it makes it where they legit have to have something to out the dupe, and then have something to do with the rest of the board, which your disruption should be able to stop that. So.
Did you ever brick with it, or were you happy with it? No,
I love dupe because I mean, at the end of the day, it's still a level 2.
Yeah.
It's still a level 2, so you can still start combo off with all your 2-card combos with Spright. And besides that, you know, you open up dupe and swap. You can pitch it, especially on the swap, to help you play through stuff more, and then you can just bring dupe back from the grave. That way you can still set up the lock on your opponent's turn.
All right.
So yeah, I haven't bricked on it yet. I draw it all the time, and it's been pretty nuts. Now to the angler package, just pretty standard. Just 3 beaver, 2 angler. Don't need to explain that much. Pretty much every Spright deck that plays Toad
right
plays it. Yeah. And the last monster is 2 Fenrir. I still like the Fenrir because, especially going second, Fenrir alone just puts so much pressure on your opponent. He almost commands that your opponent has to address him, and they have to waste a lot to get rid of Fenrir, especially going second. And then going first, you know, he can still be a disruption if you start off with your combo with him. It's a good bait to where if you're playing talents. I was playing talents. I'm not playing it now. I did switch it out for something you're going to see a little later that's a little different. But when you did have talents, you know, he was a good bait in the main phase to try to get some stuff going, and then you can just talent your opponent afterwards. And then in, you know, in subtle situations when you kind of do brick, you know, even if I just open up Fenrir Dupe Frog, that can get me the full combo because I can just Fenrir Effect, search the second one, summon Dupe Frog, and then just go to sprint and just go from there. So if worst case scenario, he's just an extra special summon body to allow you to go to combo. Best case scenario, I mean, he's just a disruption on the field, like he's a house. Go to spells, got Triple Prosperity, pretty standard. These were talents, but I wanted to try something out. So instead of talents, I placed them out with Change of Heart and Mind Control. Cause what I noticed in testing is that every time with talents, I never went for the draw two.
You always went for the
take. Yeah, so I'm like, okay, if I'm always going for the take, why am I wasting an interaction or wasting cards in my hand to bait an interaction of my opponent and then take their card afterwards, where I can just play these and just take it right off the rip. And these were insane today. Like these won me a couple of games, especially in one game against a tier player. No, against a Blackwing player. I took his, he made, what is it? Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Abyss. I get it, he baited out, I baited out the effect or something else, then I took it, and since it's a use effect, I can use it on my turn, so I used it to negate his other negation, and I just played through the whole board. Like, it came up every game I drew, either one of these, I won the game, like, without a doubt. Like, so it was insane. And jumping a little bit ahead, but I'll go back to it. But yeah, but these were insane. Like these were the talents, like I said, still testing. But right now they're doing pretty well, so I may keep it in. Like I said, we're still just testing out stuff for Vegas, so we're still just trying to figure some stuff out.
New format.
Yeah. Again, standard, 3 starter, 1 smashers, and I just go ahead and do the traps too. 3 Imperm again, another hand trap that's generically good against any format. Like I said, I think Ash and Imperm are going to be good. If you play hand trap, they're probably the best ones to play in any deck. And the last trap, I played a double cross.
What do you think of double cross? A lot of people don't play that.
I like it, man. Again, like I said, I'm not going to sit here and cap like I've been playing it the whole time. I just started playing it again while I'm trying stuff out for new format. But since I had it in deck, it's been insane. Like, it's been nuts. Like, it comes up so much, and the effect is something that players aren't used to playing around. So it always hits them at a moment to where there's no interaction in the game, kind of like what double cross does. So you can't really prepare for it. Like, even if you search it off a jet and set it, they know you have it, but they still don't know how to play around it because one, not like you said, a lot of people don't play it, and its interaction is so unique that it's kind of hard to predict what your opponent's going to do. Like, you can use it, you can take their monster, and people don't know that it's permanently take. Again, another player here put up a board, and I took his Omni Negate after he already extinguished it, and they then forgot that it was permanent, so I had it, and so now I had his Omni Negate to use the rest of the duel, so it was pretty insane. And then also too, like the fact that you can, and then even in some situations you can loop this to where you can do Toad 3 times in a turn instead of just the normal 2 with the elf. But especially like this with these 2, like, it's insane, man.
Just 3 takes.
Yeah, like you can do all of them in the same turn, basically just destroy your opponent's board. This, of course, you have to set it up first, but like these 3 in your deck, like your opponent isn't expecting you to be taking their card on their turn and again on your turn. So like, it's insane, but like these pretty much help me break any board, and especially right now too, and I think it's gonna be the same way next format. Like, everything has battle and effect destruction protection, but there's not too many cards that get protection from targeting anymore. You know, besides the monsters that are in the link zones of elf for decks that can play elf. But other than that, there's not really too many cards that you can't get around that can't be targeted. Like, yeah, I mean, you know, like, yeah, you can say Arrival from Attic Nister, but how many times you're gonna run into that? And then we have ways to get over that if you do. And same thing for Avermax. Avermax can't be targeted, but Spright, I mean, this outs Avermax on his own. And there's a bunch of ways to out Avermax too. There's actually ways in the extra deck too that I'll get to later. But that's it for the mains, 43. I like it. Like I said, we're still testing stuff out. Nothing's final yet, but things are going good so far. Yeah, and before I go to my extra deck guy, I want to shout out Team PCD and check out our merch. We just started selling merch, guys. The link's going to be down below in the description, so make sure to check out our merch. If you want to help support the team, we use the funds from that to help fund our trips, because we try to go to as many events as possible. So, like I said, we're going to Vegas. We're going to go to LA after that. So it'll help all the stuff that you guys give us. It helps promote that. So just keep that in mind, guys.
Yep, just checking the link below.
Yep. Extra deck, again, stuff pretty standard, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this. So the 1 Spren, the 2 Elf, the Dark, all these are your engine cards or help you get the engine. Then you got the IP package, got IP, Unicorn, and Avermax. Don't really like Max too much. I know I just shit on it a minute ago because I don't really like the card. But again, just testing it out, I just put it in here. This was something else. This was Wallow, honestly. But since my Bestial package is so small, I couldn't justify playing Wallow. As much as I love that card, I wanted everything in my deck to be useful. So I didn't want to do it. So I'm trying them out. Never came up today. Never came up since I've been testing them. But eventually he'll probably come up, I guess. And the last link is just a virus, Albaguska. Exceeds, again, pretty standard. Got the Zeus, the Mosquito, or maybe Maru. I played a Gen Buster, the Toad, and the 2 Gigantic. Again, nothing standard here. This is pretty much taking the place of Sky Cavalry Centuria, and Mosquito is insane, and people still aren't prepared for Mosquito. Like, that card is nuts. And side deck, again, got pretty generic. Gotta play the Red Resonator. Only had
Don't talk about that one.
Yeah, only had to win one way like that today, so I'm glad I didn't have to do it too much. Come on, Konami, gotta do something about these time rules, man. But again, 2 Twin Twister just for generic back row. For Flunder. Again, trying that out. Again, just in case they even though it's pre-release, somebody who got a little money on them might already have the full Cashtira deck, so I didn't want to be caught lacking. Yeah, our buddy Javi, check out his list on the channel as well. So just in case I ran into a Cashtira and it was giving me a problem, I want to have something to out it. Evenly, still to me the best board breaker in the game. Like, Evenly is just insane. I don't understand why a lot of people don't play it, but it's still good. It's one of those cards like my next card that people admit that it's good, but just nobody plays it. And again, same thing, anti-spell for when I'm going first.
You're always a big fan of that card.
Always, man. Any deck I can play anti-spell in, man, I'm gonna probably try to, because it's insane, bro. Like, it's basically still like IO, but at 3. And yeah, it's only for a turn, but it's 2023, bro. You only need one turn. So so you just go kill them the next turn anyway. So I don't understand why more people don't play it. Like, it's still insane. And like I said, it's one of those cards that, like, anytime I can play it, I'm gonna try to play it.
If you were to go back and do anything different, any changes you would have made?
For today, no. Like I said, everything today worked out perfectly. Everything, the reason I put it in there, if that reason came up, it was there to out it. So everything played, it ran phenomenal today.
Any shout-outs?
Yeah, again, shout out Team PCD. Shout out our locals, Bears, back in Fayetteville, Arkansas. Shout out all our local testing groups back home. Shout out our DB testing group. We got a few more members of PCD here. We got Todd here. Shout out him. Shout out D. And behind the camera, Mr. KP. You're gonna see them in a few minutes. We kind of dominated up here. We came in for the first time. 3 out of the top 4.
6-round tournament.
Yeah, 3 out of the top 4.
Pretty good size.
Yeah, so yeah, man. But that's it. That's all I got.
All right,
guys.
thank you, Barry.
All right, peace out.